In 2004, I came up to New York City, went into Penn Station. The man in front of me started complaining about the reception on his cell phone. We're 80 feet underground. He's bashing on his little device, and I'm thinking, you know, what we've forgotten, what you're forgetting, mister, is that this is a beautiful miracle. You're talking to somebody very far away with this little transmitter and this little receiver in this device, and we're forgetting that all around us, this electromagnetic radiation is carrying messages, and it's kind of an amazing thing. So I started a book. I wanted to try to capture the magic of hearing the voice of a stranger in a little device in your home, because for the history of humanity, that was a strange thing. I started with a boy trapped somewhere and a girl reading a story to him over a radio.
Has something happened to our society that has made us so advanced that we cannot bear to look to the past for guidance? Many academics have issues with historical fiction and the methods of teaching history, yet book sales continue to increase. The New York Times claims that we are living in the golden age of historical fiction. But historical fiction does not give the reader a complete or accurate depiction of historical events. It does not evaluate multiple points of view. It is reductive. It has the potential to erase, recontextualize, and rewrite history. So why should we continue to read and write historical fiction? In the novel, Whose History?, Scott Dalton is quoted saying, "We write historical fiction and read it not to learn about history so much as to live it. It is the closest we can get to experiencing the past without having been there." We do not need to rely solely on tangible facts or material objects to learn about history. Rather, we can learn an unquantifiable amount just from experience. However, this is exactly what Walter Benjamin argues against in his theses on the philosophy of history. Benjamin claims history should only be studied through historical materialism, which generally argues that history is the result of material conditions rather than any societal ideals. He fears that if history is studied through historicism, which is the study of why and how history unfolds, half of it will be erased. His theses explain how historicism relies on emotion and an indolent heart, and that leads us to stay within our comfort zone. So when we teach history, we only teach the history of the victorious and nothing of the defeated. Historical fiction is like a time machine. Reading it is an immersive experience. It brings us to places we never could have gone. Authors create, or rather recreate, a whole world for their readers using literary techniques like imagery and dialogue to transport us into their novel. In books like All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr and The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, these techniques allow us to experience life right alongside the characters. We feel the fear of Nazis invading our homes. The ground shakes around us as bombs drop over Paris, and we are hiding in small spaces hoping not to be found. When our protagonists are scared, we are too, and when they are brave, we become brave as well. Above all else, these novels teach us empathy. Helen Rice explains, empathy involves an ability to perceive others' feelings and to recognize our own emotions, to imagine why someone might be feeling a certain way, and to have concern for their welfare. Once empathy is activated, compassionate action is the most logical response. We have many uses for the empathy we gain from historical fiction novels. I believe empathy is not only an important emotion, but a vital skill to have. We use empathy to solve our problems by helping us recognize what others are feeling and how our actions can affect their feelings. Empathy helps us regulate our own emotions, and it is a part of what makes us human. So while we may not get a great historical education from these books, we learn something perhaps more important. We learn empathy. We learn about the human condition, and maybe we even learn to appreciate how the world is evolving around us.